But one thing that was definitely not subpar was that Pat Cummins innings against Mumbai. I mean, 50 in 14 balls, joint highest IPL 50. Could have got it in 13, but a brilliant save there by the boundary. Um, but wow, 56 in 15 balls, I think it was. I mean, unbelievable hitting. Highest strike rate innings in the IPL. With a considerable amount of balls faced. It was absolutely breathtaking. I mean, me as a KKR fan, I was absolutely floored by it. But
Yeah.
what was your take on that innings as a neutral?
Yeah, it was a Pat Cummins played very well. I mean, for once, I think you're not overstating a KKR player's worth. You tend to do that. Even with ex KKR players, you're a bit of a fan, which is understandable from your perspective. But yeah, Pat Cummins is he batted absolutely brilliantly. In the time he's come in, he hasn't he hasn't performed. He hasn't been the bowler that KKR maybe would have wanted to see. But it takes time. We can expect that he'll come up in the limited games he's played so far. He's been very good, as you said. He's a pretty good fielder. He's a great bowler, obviously, and now we can see he's a great batsman. He just, as he says, I don't know verbatim, but he just sees the ball and he just tries to hit every ball for six, which is a very simple way to play cricket. But I mean, I guess it works for T20. And yeah, I mean, there's not much to say. If you haven't seen the innings, you should go watch it. It was a very good innings, and it wasn't like I wouldn't say it was a saving innings. KKR, I think, were on the path to victory nonetheless, but he simplified it. Would be an understatement. He just
Yeah,
cruised.
it was the nail in the coffin for the
Yeah,
Mumbai
yeah.
Indians.
He just took it through, and I think the save was Sky, right? Was it not? The
I don't remember. I mean, I don't really think about who saved the boundaries, just who was hitting them.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, to me, obviously his bowling's been under par. He's bowled 8 overs till now this tournament, 100 runs and only 2 wickets, which he got in his first game. So obviously he's one of the best bowlers in the world, number one ranked test bowler. We expect more from him, and I'm sure, uh, being the quality that he is, like he'll bounce back, and we'll see the best of him with the ball. But forgetting all that, to me now he's the greatest sportsman to ever play any sport ever. Um, Moving on, someone who's definitely not on that caliber for me, Ajinkya Rahane. He had a decent first game against CSK, and since then, a string of low scores. I think it's time to move on now. He's just been really, really below average. And I don't see the point where with someone like Sheldon Jackson, who's uh, who's a proven domestic performer. I mean, to be fair, so is Rahane. But Rahane is tried out and he's just not been performing. I think it's time for a change.
Yeah, I mean, as you said, Rahane is a proven domestic performer, but he's gotten his chances, and he hasn't delivered on them off late. And I think we can pull up a clip somewhere. I will hunt for it where I predicted this would happen. That you'd open with that KKR would like try Rahane out, and it would fail miserably. It would inevitably fail miserably. I mean, Rahane had a decent first game, I believe, but since then, it's nothing. It's nothing to be proud of. And yeah, you have people like Sheldon.
Especially it was against CSK.
Nice, nice. You had to get me there. Fair enough. And yeah, you have people like Sheldon Jackson who aren't getting those opportunities. It's silly. And I know you weren't a big fan of how Hales dipped, and then you got in Finch. But I'm not sure, when is Finch available? Is Finch available? Is he?
Finch is going to be available from our next game. He's
Yeah, if they don't try someone like Sheldon Jackson, I don't really think they're gonna play Finch. Even though it would be interesting to see him play because they won't want to drop their foreign contingent right now. They're all playing pretty well. Russell's playing well. Who else? Sam Billings has played a few good knocks here and there. He's been playing fine, and obviously Pat Cummins. And then who else is there?
Narayan.
Narayan, and you don't want to drop Narayan. So
Yeah,
I was
speaking of
thinking maybe Narayan could go up to the top as he did a couple of years ago. Um, Maybe it's not something they want to try out, but as you remember, I'm sure Narayan would play at the top.
Yeah, I
And
was just going to mention that. Like, I'm one of the few who believes that Narayan's absolutely useless batting at 7, 8, and 9. What's the point of him there with the field all back, and he just has a few balls to hit? Send him up open with him. It'll be a left field option. He likes space on the ball sometimes, and with the field in during the power play, I think he could be a beast in the power play, and certainly better than what Rahane is doing right now. And it also like saves spots, so they could either play a bowler, like they don't need to mess around with the team combination that much, since they're already using a player who's already established himself in the middle. But I mean, his bowling has also been really good. In the last game that KK had against Delhi Capitals,
yeah,
uh, yeah, he only went for 20 runs, and he picked up a couple wickets, and he was the only bowler that night, or that afternoon, I should say, who had a good economy. Like, he's still a very very good bowler, and I think he's going to be a big trouble for teams going ahead. Why not just boost his confidence, giving him that opening slot?
yeah, and it's not like a lot of times when you push sort of tailenders to the front, or not even not tailenders, lower middle order players to the front, they fail, you push them back, and then you consider maybe trying the option. Narayan has been tried, he's been tested, and he's proven that he can do it. They demoted him back after like a few bad performances, I think, in the last season. But when he was at his prime, when you gave him the chances, he played incredibly. He was extremely devastating. And now with Rahane playing abhorrently, I'm okay. Abhorrently is maybe a bit strong, but now that Rahane isn't really playing well, there's your chance to try something new. The rest of KKR is pretty good. There's your chance to try it out. Try to put Narayan to the front, as you said, boost his confidence and like get KKR a solid 55, 60 runs in a power play, and then they'll be golden from that point on.
Also, another question: should Tim Sadi play? So that'll mean Billings sits out, but you'll get the bowling lineup of Umesh Yadav, Sunil Narayan, Varun Chakravarti, Pat Cummins, and Tim Saudi. I mean, that's a bloody good lineup.
Yeah, that is good, but I don't think so. I don't think it's necessary at this point. Um, you know, Billings, he hasn't scored any big knocks, but for what he's been able to do, I think he came in a couple of times and hit like some 25 of 15, 16 balls. They're fair. He's getting starts, like somewhat starts-ish, like 15, 20 runs. He's not able to convert it, but I think you give him more time and he can turn into a real lethal asset. And I don't think KKR's bowling needs it. It's not in the position where it needs it. As you mentioned, what they already have in the pace contingent, Umesh Yadav is bowling very, very well, as we talked about last week. He's had a couple of times where he's been a little bit expensive in some overs, but overall he's a pretty solid bowler. And now you have Cummins, who's come in. See what I did there? Cummins has come in to the to the side, and so that's an added bonus. And then with the spin contingent, of course, of Chakravarti and Narayan, I don't really think it's necessary. I think if you give Billings the time, push Narayan up front, oust Ajinkya Rahane from the lineup. You maybe push everyone else in KKR up a spot. Maybe give Billings some more balls where he doesn't feel the need to sort of play as a slogger. And I think it'll be very interesting to see how he does.